Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Unpredicted Party, the only Middle-earth TTRPG that will finally answer the question, why didn't they just take the Eagles to Mordor? And we are one step closer to answering that question as we near the end of those steps. I am your lore master, Don Marshall. Around me are my internet friends, plus our special guest, Wizardway Chris, back as Thranduil. Say hello, internet friends.
Hi,
Hello, internet friends.
What do you mean you're internet friends and Chris?
As Well, when you put it that way, I've completely dug myself into a hole where there's no way of answering this question
I'm
properly.
I'm
So
I'm not an internet friend. I am a roommate's partner.
oh, that's a deep cut for any D20 people out there. We carry on and completely ignore
With
the
my
question
void
that Charlotte
background, it
was.
seemed to make
You're
sense.
not helping, Chris. Anyway, we are going to thank a couple of people before we get started. I am going to keep this fucker moving if it kills me. We want to have a very special few thank yous to The One Ring, the folks at The One Ring, Free League Publishing. You can go to freeleaguepublishing.com. Thank you for sending us that copy of The One Ring and all of those other games that we may be playing after this. Who even knows? Special thanks to The Rook and the Raven for all of your TTRPG note-taking notes. You can go to therookandtheraven.com. It didn't make any sense. I said notes too many times. It's fine. Special thanks to the people that do our extra stuff. Cullen Vance has created the music. You can go to cullenvancecreative.com to stream all of his music. The artwork is done by Sarah M. Shunky. She is at Sarah M. Shunky on Instagram. And it feels silly that I'm only just realizing I should be doing it now. The logo with all four of the characters is done by Holly Brown at Holly Brown Designs, currently on the shirt being worn by Zach. For those of you listening on the podcast, if you buy one, you won't have to wonder what it looks like. Finally, a special thanks to Little Wit the cartographer for crafting the maps. You can find his services on Facebook. Without further ado, I would like to thank my wife. She goes by, yeah, you thought I was going to forget. I would like to thank my wife. She goes by Nat20Wife on all social media platforms. Honey, thank you for giving us an 8:30 session, because when I said, hey, Zach is finally done spending 3 days in Indianapolis on planes, trains, and automobiles, and he wants to play, I couldn't say no, even though usually we're wrapping up by now. But here we are, we're chugging through it, and we're going to get to the results of both the episode that my players played and the episode that Chris and I played with Justin that will be airing tomorrow live on the YouTube channel.
I didn't know that Justin was in that episode as
Are
well.
you cheating on us,
I
Don?
haven't
Yes,
seen
I
that
am.
episode yet because it is Thursday.
And it is not out yet.
Spoilers.
With all
Yeah,
of
spoiler
that
alert.
out of the way, is everybody ready to go ahead and get started?
Let's go.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Let's go. And welcome back. When we last left off, the siege of Gondor was brought to an end courageously through the power of friendship and armies and love and hope and fear and every possible emotion that could be had. Tinel, as you stand on the precipice of the first floor of Minas Tirith with Tariel excitedly saying, my king has arrived. Her king is slicing and dicing his way through orcs in Osgiliath alongside Halbarad, who, along with the rest of the Dunedain, these rangers of the north, have rode out and met the enemy head on, crossing the wooden planks and the almost drained river of Osgiliath that divides the city in two, as Arwen, off to the flank, drives them to the river, traveling up Sengaya's boat. And as the armies of, as you all see from the precipice, Mirkwood and Erebor and the human area in that land, Dale and the rest of the surrounding areas, make their way to just an absolute slaughter of a time. This battle is... Oh, go ahead.
I prepped a battle cry.
Give me 30 seconds to get to the battle cry. I still got to wrap up the recaps as Beery, because Chris, my players did some badass stuff and we need to get it out because Beery, you using the slag and the metal and the oils, used your wizardly magic to basically
With
create,
Hallowith's help.
with Hallowith's help, of course, using a little bit of that cunning dwarven mind of yours, how smart and quick it is. You created the white tree of Gondor in flames as you had a special name for it. I'm trying to remember.
A release, sweet
A
release.
Yes, this release creates this visual of the tree of Gondor on the front gate of Minas Tirith as you and Hallowith watch it burn. Hallowith, how does the magic of the fire in this door, along with the heat and the rubble of this white city, how does that affect you? And Tanel, get ready, because I'm about to come to you, because as you stand in the midst of a white city on fire, you are immediately taken back to an almost flashback-like moment of Gondolin as it fell, because you realize you're so tired. You have been hit in the leg with an arrow. You have been pierced by a Morgul blade. It may or may not have been cursing you this whole time. You need to get Elrond to look at it, but there's no time. And as you watch your vision slowly start to fade, as you start to go woozy left and right, what do you think of in the fallen city of Gondolin?
The joy is pretty much snapped from her immediately.
Cool. We are going to stop there. Hallowith, same question.
He feels well in that exact moment, because he's currently wearing the wolf skin, right? That was where we
You are
left it.
wearing Saruman the wolf's skin.
Right. He's
The
bellowing.
sorrow mantle, as I've
Yes.
been calling
Sorrow
it.
mantle. There you go.
Yes.
He feels in the same way that the white tree is a release, this is a catharsis for Hallowith. He
All right, Hallowith,
bellows.
stop there. Tanel, what is your next thought beyond that? I'm flipping back and
Ooh,
forth.
okay.
We're coming to something here. Let me cook.
Gotcha.
Yeah, of course.
Ooh.
There is a panicked resistance that she doesn't want to see the images that she remembers from her childhood.
Okay, I'm going to ask both of you to make me an awareness check, please.
Okay.
Alrighty. I pass
You pass.
by
I
one.
also pass by 4
By-
points.
By 4 points, Tori. By 1 point, Zach. Hallowith stumbles a little bit, and Tanel, it catches your eye because there's this moment within Osanwe where you have the thought and the connection. You and Hallowith are seeing essentially the same thing. You look at him, he looks at you, and in both passing your awareness checks, you make eye contact. And Tanel, you watch as Hallowith falls to the ground as the poison arrow takes its next turn, and you find unconsciousness.
Can Barry try to catch him?
Beery,
Because
you
we
can-
were
yeah,
we were
you
just
can be-
like
yeah.
okay.
You can be right there.
What do you need?
Give me
Athletics?
if you want to try and heal him and see what's wrong with him, that's a medicine check. If you want to
No,
try
it's
and pick him up and like get him to the houses of healing, that would be athletics.
Roll to bro.
Roll the bro. I'm gonna
Yeah.
catch him in his arm. Yeah,
Okay,
catch him in my arms.
Yeah.
athletics check, please.
One more. 28.
28. Hallowith, do you say anything in the moment before you fall?
He's gonna look, and the last thing he's gonna see is the fire.
Hmm.
And he's gonna say, I'm sorry. And fall.
Okay. Tariel, you see this happen as well. I think you are all there on the wall, ready to go.
Oh, we're physically near each other?
I think, yeah, with
Yeah,
Tanel
we
being
got
on the
close.
wall, you are next to
Okay.
her. It's
I thought we were
basically you
just seeing this through a sonic.
No,
Sorry.
no. You have
Yeah,
the connection.
when Tanel sees him fall, she does take that stumbling step forward and doesn't realize that she's not let go of Tariel's hand.
Okay.
And just
But
kind of like
Tariel, she'll let
yeah.
you go. She'll let you
Mhm.
go. And she's just maybe too stunned to react for
All
a
right.
moment.
As Beery is kind of like, I don't like maiden holding Hwith in his arms. He's gonna look at Tin, who's coming up, correct?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
he's gonna yell up to her like, I know the door was cool, but I didn't think he was gonna faint.
It's we take him to the healing houses, please. Now.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
Okay. You take him up to the houses of healing. I am going to go ahead and make a few medicine checks. While I do, Chris, I am going to come to you because, Chris, you are fighting next to King Brand, King Dane Ironfoot II of Erebor, the Dunedainer there. Halbarad is thwacking, and all of a sudden there's this green ghost army that shows up, and there's Arwen Undomiel, and I need you all to understand that this is happening simultaneously. The moment Halloweth faints, so does Arwen.
What does that mean?
Oh, damn.
Wait, do we see? Wait, she's there too?
She is there
No.
too. You know she is there. I will ask anyone who is not immediately looking at Halloweth in the moment he collapsed. So definitely not you, Tanel, and definitely not you, Beery. Tariel, go ahead and make me a scan check.
Come on, Tariel.
Sorry, I had to think through who was seeing who at that moment.
Yeah, who's there
sorry.
for
All
sure?
of my dice are. Okay, wait, where are. Sorry, I'm scattered. We haven't done this in a while.
I know. It's been, was it another
is
6
crazy.
weeks that we...
It's been a while.
It really
It's been
has
a
been.
while.
We've filmed, I think, one other time since NoCoCon. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah, we have. Fuck. What do you got?
7
7. Nah.
with 3 points. With 3. I,
Oh no.
Oh, no. Have we got the giggles?
it's just so sad, you
It
guys.
is no, there's too much smoke, right? There's too much smoke. There's too much
Fog of
commotion.
war,
There's
man.
always
My
a reason.
first roll in weeks.
That
And
just
it's
means
like, you know what I mean? It's just not.
it's crumbs. It's crumbs in a soon to be full
Not
cookie jar.
We
good.
can
It's
go
okay.
up
It's
from
gonna
here.
pass.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Thronduil.
Good days and bad days. It's okay.
Thronduil, do you go to catch Arwen?
Do I see Arwen?
Yes, you see Arwen stand as you had that moment with Justin at the end of your last session with 3, 2, 1. The ghosts are coming up. Arwen basically comes up, not saying a word, still just sort of fighting, but you watch her stumble as well. And as things are starting to clear, as the battle begins to subside, the army has driven them into the river. The Oilifants are retreating. Everything is starting to die down, which I made clear last time to you, but not necessarily to my players. So just to qualify everything, things have calmed down significantly.
Yeah, I'll be
Do you
honest. I
catch
thought we
Arwen?
were still fighting this thing.
No, you've successfully routed it. Do you catch her?
If Thranduil sees Arwen about to collapse, a very pregnant Arwen about to collapse, 100% he rushes forward and attempts to heft her and at least shield her from whatever's happening. And if we are safe, run her toward help.
Yeah, I think you take her body, bring her to the people that can help, start commanding your forces left, right, and center, just making sure that everything dies down. Let's say after about probably an hour, just getting things settled because we already rolled for the battle back out there. You do not have to do it anymore. You are, however, down minus 20 HP from that specific battle. So you are still hurting quite a bit. I think after a while, you will, well, let me ask, do you make your way into Gondor?
Can I get just a brief visual of what is happening? Like, how much disarray am I looking at here?
You are looking at a decent amount of disarray in the Osgiliath area. There is an Oilifant body strewn across parts of the city with a catapult on its back as orcs and any number of creatures, wolves, spiders, badgers, a couple of rats scurrying here and there. Not the rats you adopted. These are others. Just fire, smoke, the smell of animal dung. It smells like a farm turned up to 11, just every kind of chaos. However, the city still stands and there is activity, but not outside. It is only inside. You've got the Dunedain where you're sort of commanding your people, but everyone else is inside.
Okay. If it looks like the dwarves of Erebor and the men of Dale and the Dunedain of the North all have this covered out here, Thrand will basically start doing triage with as many of the injured that can be helped, and especially with Arwen. Yeah, he will basically welcome himself with no preamble.
Fantastic. I think about 20 minutes into it, you're going to see King Ironfoot II go, I think we've got this. You see to your people that have been injured. We stout dwarves, not many injuries here, huh? And he kind of just pats you jokingly as a jape amongst warriors. And you make your way.
He elbows him back.
Yeah. Ow. You make your way with as many folks as you can, carrying some yourself, towards the houses of healing. Hwith, we come to your second memory of home. As the scene around you fades from the burning white city, what part of your childhood opens up to you as you find yourself in this sort of haze of remembrance?
I suppose the first time that he comes to Gondolin.
Big
The
white
moment
city.
he arrived.
What did it look like exactly?
Well, Hwith didn't come from much. So to see a large, white, glittering city such as the magnificence of Gondolin is would have been beyond his wildest dreams at that age. So he came, and he was amazed. However, it was under such strained and such dire circumstances that what should have been a marvelous and a memory that sticks out in his mind as being so beautiful was actually one of the worst days of his long, long life.
Make me an awareness check, please.
Ooh. This is my heart.
Stressful.
Told you to let me cook.
I have
I'm not
6.
okay.
I passed by 6.
You passed by 6.
Mm-hmm.
Your father steps on a branch about 50 feet ahead of you as you have been following him, able to stealthily enough keep track of where he is. He gives his position away. Unfortunately, you also see in that moment that because you noticed him, so too did the other guards just outside of your peripheral vision, and they come to him, arrows drawn. You hear murmurs of a conversation, and you watch as your father looks around. And I need you, if you are hiding, to either make me a stealth check, or if you are okay with him seeing you, make me an awareness check again.
He's actually going to call out.
Okay. What do you yell?
He just says, "Father, wait! To the sides!" To alert him to the guard's presence.
Gonna make a roll here. You want a high number.
Is this
Okay.
outside the hidden gate of Gondolin? They have not yet gone inside?
They have not yet gone inside.
Okay.
Not yet gone inside.
Just
Point of
you're doing
order.
a roll.
Go ahead.
Just want to clarify for those of you who are not familiar with the lore here, Gondolin was a mystical shining city on a hill hidden far, far away from the rest of civilization, and no one was allowed in or out, and its entrance was known only to a select few. So it would be just right outside. It would have just been like a thicket.
And I assume that Hwith and Eol are basically approaching the first of the 7 gates.
Yes, that was my understanding. Unless,
Okay.
am I getting the geography correct, Chris?
You're good. You're good.
Okay, cool. Just got to make sure. Hwith, you cry out, and the guards quick turn and look for you. Go ahead and make me a stealth check. Your father succeeded.
Oh boy. Yeah. He gets, well, that's 14, 15, 18, 23, 26.
Oh, it's a good old boy.
31.
31.
He's stealthy. That wasn't. That's a mid roll for him as well. He's got 6d6 and stuff.
He's our min-max boy. It's beautiful. So your father only rolled a 19, so you hear yourself cry out, giving away your position, but you quick duck back far enough, and your father has thrown a rock to the other side, creating yet another distraction. You both slip away into the shadows. It takes you less than a minute to find him, and you both make eye contact from about 20 feet away. And you hear in your mind, "I forbid you to come. Would you not listen to my orders?"
He immediately is chastised, falls inward, and says, "The decision I made was out of bitterness and envy. I was not myself. I'm sorry. I should not have told you."
No, you should not have. And yes, you should have. Your defiance makes you willful. We can use that. But know this. Whatever transpires in that city, you bear the brunt of that blame. I shall not be merciful.
Do not hurt them.
You attempt to control me.
I only seek to show you what is right, what is just.
How old are you? How old are you?
Old enough to make my own decisions, Father.
That's right. And I am yet older. My decisions are my own. You are free to try and stop me.
I will do what I must. But know this, that I will save them. They will be free from your wrath.
You were the one that gave them up. Why the sudden change of heart?
I was wrong. I was angry they left me. I've
Little
been left
boy
before.
in the woods. Wanted a friend.
I had a friend.
And we had a deal.
They left me. I made a decision. And here we are. And I regret that. But I'm here to change that. I'm here to stop that.
No, Hwith. Here you will remain. And I need you to go ahead and make me, hang on one second.
Fucking ale.
This is...
Hey, Tori, how glad are you that you don't have notes right now?
I'm right now.
I'll send you this as soon as the Zoom is done processing. You can write it down.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just idle hands.
Yep.
I'm here like fidgeting with the cord.
I hate this bitch in every timeline.
Every time, yeah.
Zach, he rolled a 21. I need you to make an athletics check, ill favor, and because you are a child, I would like you to take half of your strength number of d6s that you have and round it down. So if you have 4, you take 2. If you have 5, you take 2 as well.
So if I have 3 d6, I take 1.
It's 1, yes. 1d12 and 1d6. You have to Gandalf it.
I know it's summer, but why am I sweating?
I don't. I get an 11.
An 11.
Oh, so close.
You watch as quick as a flash. Your father does some kind of incapacitation where the pressure point in your shoulder and then a nerve pinched in your neck and then your kneecap done from out of you. And it's every technique of fighting that you've ever been taught or tried to do, but couldn't master, that you see this master at work. But he's off somehow, but you're just a kid at this point. It's not even close. So as you fall unconscious within the memory, Thranduil, you approach the houses of healing and see an awakening Hwith as he attempts to stir. Do you approach him?
Do I still have Arwen in my arms?
I'd say you've probably transferred Arwen now to this point as you've gotten inside. Beery, you wanted to do something real quick?
If it's okay, I mean,
yeah, no, let's do it. Let's
Hal's his pal, man. And like I would imagine maybe drop him onto the bed. You know, like we have the equivalent of nurses and things like that. You know,
yeah, Yorith is there and a whole bunch of others.
Oh yeah, Tanel's hovering too.
But like I want to like I can only imagine his vision coming from a blur, from darkness to a blur, to then Beery like looming over him, kind of like shaking his shoulders. It's like, "Hey, you were talking. Are you okay? You were talking in your sleep. It seemed like a bad dream."
Hwith jolts awake and he just says, I couldn't save them. I didn't save them. I should have saved them.
No, but we did. We
do
did.
I hear this?
You do, yeah. I'd say as you're saying this, Thranduil walks in.
I think Thranduil is going to place a very strong hand on Beery's shoulder and just pull him back, grab his attention a little bit, move him back just so that Thranduil can look into Hwith's eyes. Because would Thranduil know how much would Hwith have shared?
I leave that to you, Zach.
Hwith would have shared that he was in Gondolin. He would have shared that he probably would have shared that he more about his home, as in his forest in Nan Emroth.
Okay.
He would have shared that he was born in Nan Emroth. That's about it.
Non-Elmoth. Okay.
Nan Elmoth. So yeah, that's about it.
Okay. That's enough for Thranduil to at least know that you're likely in a daze and thinking of Gondolin. So Thranduil is going to try and make firm eye contact. And I think he's just going to like place a hand on Hwith's face and just establish the eye contact, and through Osanwe, basically just in Elvish say, "You're not there. You're here. I'm here. Return to me."
He's breathing heavily, and that starts to slow and slow again until he's present, and his eyes begin to slowly return back to how they usually are, and a more peaceful expression is on his face again, and he is once again present in Gondor.
I'm imagining this moment very cinematically, like having this super serious, tender moment between Thranduil and Hwith, and in the backdrop, Beery now knowing what he knows, and just like SpongeBob, just like, just excited as hell.
All Beery hears is just this soft murmuring, like repeating.
Oh, he
of
doesn't
just
Tanduloanin. A thing. He
Tanduloanin, which is just it's return to me.
Ooh. Okay. Go ahead and take a fellowship point and add it to the pool.
Hey.
I'll trust you guys to keep track of that.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
this one.
I've got it.
No
All
way.
right. Zach, Halloweth has a moment to respond if you want to.
Yeah, he's gonna respond with just a very shaky, I'm here. I'm here. And leaves it at that.
I think Thranduil just lets out a breath, but stays in that moment, and he'll probably try and do some sort of medicine check in the meanwhile.
Go ahead and
See
make
how
me
bad
a medicine.
things are.
Yeah,
Mhm.
let's see how much we can do here.
Is
Yeah.
Tariel and
Sorry, I'm in the dark, so I can't see my
In the room.
sheet.
You're fine.
well.
You're good. Tanel, I know, is there.
Yeah, Tanel is wide-eyed, disassociating, and it's just the grime is gone, and there's just tear tracks down her face, and
tracks?
Okay.
she's just staring.
None of you can see Tario.
Yep.
Tori. As he was kind of pulled away, and like Tin's kind of staring ahead. He needs to share this moment with somebody.
Yeah.
Now he knows he's the guy that never gets a secret. He's never in on it. So he's just like, and Tin maybe getting, I don't know how violently shocked back into reality, but feels like a little elbow on like probably her hip.
Mm-hmm.
Tanel, as you dissociate, what part of Gondolin do you see within the white halls of this house of healing? We'll come to your role in a second, Chris. Sorry to interrupt you, Beery.
It's the shop burning.
Mm-hmm.
It's her father's shop burning, and it's just the flames of it.
Cool. Tanel?
And that's all she can see, and that's all she wants to let herself see.
Got it. The smoke billowing just outside the houses of healing is quickly extinguished with a bucket of water being thrown at someone, but the fire had spread and they got it under control. You feel a sharp pain in your hip as Beery nudges you.
Yes, are you all right? Are you all right?
He's just going, yeah. And he just kind of like pointedly looks at Thranduil and Halloweth.
Oh, of course. I told you.
10. We did it.
Yes, I think I might take some time to let that sink in.
Oh no, I mean, well, not like take your time like an elf, we don't got hundreds of years to do so, but like soak it up. We did the impossible.
Yes. And she does just kneel down and just hugs him.
Oh hey, and just wraps her up tight.
I'm glad
Gorge,
you're here.
Gorge does the thing with the puppy and just kind of gets up on both of you as you kneel. Oh, and you've got the little boar plushie from Noko. Oh, for those listening on the podcast, the Noko-Con boar plushie has just been brought out.
And he's already been through a lot.
Yeah.
That poor little guy.
Yes, he has.
Did we tell the podcast this?
I don't think we told the podcast this.
After party story.
Okay, after party story.
Yeah,
Gorge
that's not the
Gorge
first
had
story.
unexpected surgery at the airport.
It was traumatic for all of us.
Really
But yeah, like Tin would feel, he's recovering from his room, he's feeling strong again, but what's been bolstering him is just this hope. Like we did the impossible, and he squeezed her tight. When you give someone a hug and their back pops, it's kind of one of those moments.
Mm-hmm.
Quick side note, I hugged Tank Tolman at Gen Con this weekend. I
Mhm.
felt my back change
Yes.
somehow. It was beautiful.
Yes.
Best
Beautiful.
hugs ever.
Did you
That
also
man,
feel
that man
your-
is huge.
Yeah.
Holy,
Yeah.
that's a big guy.
Yeah, he broke my back, but in a good way.
Did he also heal your soul a little bit?
Honest to God, I did feel a little of my depression go away. Not even
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm talking
Beery,
about-
Tanel, you were
Yeah.
having a tender moment.
Yes, yeah. Tanel is holding him probably longer than she ever has. and it's a moment for her to collect herself. And she goes right back to how she was when she first got into the House of the Healing, is standing by the bed almost like a guard. And just critically watching everyone who moves around Halloweth.
As you do, I think Thranduil, Halloweth, Tanel, Beery, you can all just sort of have this moment of being by Halloweth's bedside. Tariel nowhere to be found,
Yeah,
but
I did do a roll as well.
Yes, you did. You did. Go ahead and make your roll for your
I
medicine check.
just barely met my target number, but I met it.
Got it. In just barely meeting your target number, you realize one thing and then another thing almost simultaneously. He has been stabbed with a Morgul blade, and you are not sure how best to fix this problem. You need help, probably Elrond healing help.
Question.
Yeah.
Because Thranduil has a very specific background, having dealt with the evil things of Mordor and the infiltration of his wood with Sauron. Would he have any idea of how to channel some of the darkness?
I would typically say no, but I will allow you to try it. Go ahead and make me a lore check. But I'm going to give you ill favor on this one. This is more Elrond's expertise. And I think I'm
older than Elrond.
I know you are. You're also grumpier.
Also, Chris, how obvious, like how emotive, like how is he emoting this? Like, is it very obvious what he's doing? It's very subtle.
Emoting as in he is
like
distraught that Halloweth is in a bad way?
Yeah. Well, like he's about to try and conjure something, like he's trying to do something big that he might need help with, kind of a thing.
I think with how difficult it was for him to even get a basic read, having just met the target number, I think he's going to take a look around for any healers that he knows would know Halloweth well, or he probably would look down to if he still has Beery by the shoulder, which he could.
He's right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could I actually just use this moment?
Go for it.
Tariel just fucking appears beside you.
Good stealth check.
I rolled a really good stealth check.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Secret stealth check. She's been in the room, like her compatriots might even have been able to sort of like vaguely detect her through Osanwe. But she has not been part of the bustle. She's not helping out with Arwen. Maybe she's just sort of hid in the shadows behind a pillar or something. And at that moment just sort of steps out. And
I think Thranduil has, just because you stealth so stealthily, I think Thranduil has a moment of like surprise, almost fright at your sudden appearance, unexpected. And in that moment of vulnerability, you see that there is just a hint of panic in his eyes. And his voice is steady. His voice doesn't give that away, but you see, and you know Thranduil well enough that you would see that he is worried in this moment, looking at the injuries.
Yeah.
And I think it just voice-wise, he just goes, Commander, perfect. Tell me what happened.
Does your vast experience not tell you what has happened? He has been stabbed with a Morgul blade, my king.
I think I just hoped you would prove me wrong. Once again, I'm going to need your help.
There is something in the squaring of her shoulders and the set of her face that tells you that this is a different Tariel from the last one that you saw. And that she is not angry with you, but nor is she afraid of nor deferential to you in the way that you are accustomed.
Mhm.
So she will just nod curtly, and sort of just indicate that like she is not very vocally forthcoming, but she is prepared to do whatever you need her to do. But there is also something that says like, and maybe you even just feel that just a little trickle through Osanwe. Maybe she lets you feel that of like,
Mm.
of course, you always need me, and I always show up right when you need me. Just that
Truer
emotion,
words.
just a little
Yeah.
bit, just that.
And I think you just
Sure.
get the little tiny hint of, like, yeah, that might be a bitter, a bit of a bittersweet sort of thing. Yeah, you do show up, but there is a simple acknowledgement of truer words have never been spoken, that you do. And that's the reason you're commander. And that's the reason that he values you.
She's satisfied with that for now. My king, tell me what you need.
And I think Thranduil will try to, let's see. Trying to think, would Tauriel have been present for Thranduil having done this sort of thing in the past with Erengel and with Mirkwood?
Think so. I would think so. I mean, they've been together for a long time.
Mhm.
Dawn, you're muted.
I would say yes then. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we established in another episode that Tauriel even has like she has faint memories of your wife. Like she knows you pretty well.
Yeah.
She's seen
Okay.
it.
All right. So I think, yeah, I think that mentioned like 600 years ish that you've been around in Mirkwood.
Yeah.
Just about.
Perfect. So you would have seen occasionally Thranduil gathering any magic user of sufficient power in Mirkwood and performing a type of ritual to draw the darkness of Sauron that has been leaching into Greenwood, trying to draw it into himself and then ground it down into the earth.
Mm.
I think you would have seen this done with Daeron the Dark, with Rovandir at some point. But typically when he tries to do this, there are several elves around.
Do we have God? Do we have any of the wizards around? Are these guys?
Oh boy.
You want to go find him?
Do we have the wizards?
You can make me
God.
either an explore check or you can wait any number of hours. Hallowith's condition may improve or worsen depending on how you do this.
At this point, I would trust Radagast over
Yeah.
all of them.
I mean,
the wizards
anyone.
have a troubled history.
They do.
But Chris, would Thranduil be explaining this aloud for all of us to hear, or is this like a Sonway between the two of
I
you?
feel like this is just we're explaining the background that these two have. With
Yeah,
a
this is
particular form of
Osanwe, I
healing.
think.
So
Okay.
maybe not even Osanwe, just like, oh, in this situation, there's an understanding that this is probably what
Subtext.
Thranduil would do. So maybe Tauriel, she says, like, tell me what you need, and then maybe she forestalls the answer even, and then just turns to her compatriots and says, we need everyone we can find.
Because as you all look down at the in and out of consciousness Hallowith, you all see Elrond walk in.
Well, that's convenient.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tauriel will just whip her head around and say, you'll do.
I beg your pardon.
She
She's
looks
right,
at
he
him
will do.
expectantly, like, I said what I said.
He puts a hand on your shoulder as if like a give me a minute, because he sees who you're talking to. And Thranduil, you are standing face to face with Elrond, and before you can say anything, he takes 2 quick steps, closes the distance, and wraps you in a hug. You are most welcome. And I grieve for you. But there is time yet to see justice done. If you will have me, my sword is yours. And he very slowly lets go.
I think there's a moment of, like, he goes completely stock still the moment Elrond embraces him. That's not the kind of greeting he's accustomed to from anyone. Except Beery, apparently.
Your Highness. Yeah!
Oh my God.
Yes!
Oh my God, Charlotte's got the stickers. For those listening on the podcast, Chris is wearing their own merch that says Your Royal Hiney. Available at what shop?
Oh, it's on my link tree. It's my fourth wall.
It'll be it'll be in the link in the description for Chris's shop for a lovely shirt, and Charlotte has the sticker. Yeah, Elrond completely takes you aback as he embraces you, says the words he does, and lets you go.
And I think it feels like an eternity in his mind as he goes back through his memories of Elrond, and they are many. And he recalls that the one person who tried, perhaps unsuccessfully, but tried nonetheless, to comfort him when his father fell in the Battle of Dagorlad. And Thranduil was suddenly king. I think Elrond was the one who tried to comfort him, and whom he, in many ways, pushed away at that time. However, after this small eternity passes, this heartbeat or two, as he has separated and they just stand looking at each other, I think Thranduil, in a flash, hugs him. And there are no words.
Take a hope point, Chris. You can go ahead and add that to the pool.
I'm unwell.
You okay? Do you need a break?
I'm good.
Okay. Take a moment.
Tori,
You.
as we just wrapped up House of the Dragon, Sir Strong, the older man, when like he's in the back, like, yay!
So good. He's like, Mom and Dad are back together again.
This entire time, that's what Beery is doing. It's like, I don't know the context, but I'm into it. This is great.
Yeah.
I think the only two words that he manages to get out are Emuth Nirnaeth,
Which is?
which is what the Wood Elves call the Dead Marshes. And that's the March of Lamentation, much like the Nirnaeth Arnoriad, which is the Battle of Unnumbered Tears.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to watch Elrond take a step back and his face falls. And I think everybody here, Zach, if you're still there, Hwith can see this as well, because the rest of you are going to watch Elrond's face change completely. It is as if Thranduil has said the world has already ended everywhere but here, and we are the last point. It is the greatest grief that could possibly have happened and the worst thing he could have said. And I think Elrond is going to look at you and say, I am sorry, but for what it is worth, we are alive because of you, and we now stand a chance. There is hope.
I couldn't let those marshes defeat me a second time.
No. Oh, I knew you never could. We will avenge them. I promise.
And yours as well.
When this is all over, I should like that you and I have a very, very long talk.
I'll bring the wine.
You always do. You're going to cut there very briefly. Halloweth, in your days.
One thing.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
As that sort of moment passes, I think Thran will take a moment with Halloweth just to reassure him that he's not going anywhere. He is here, and he's going to step back and help Elrond with Arwen.
Okay.
First.
The healing is Arwen is being taken care of. You spend the next little bit tending to her with her father, and then I think her wounds are not necessarily grievous. She just collapsed, and
He'd want to ensure that before.
I think no medicine checks needed. She is merely exhausted. This is the moment of, oh my gosh.
Look, Thranduil lost Legolas. He's not about to let Arwen die on his watch.
Fair enough. Elrond is going to be leading this, but he is going to be asking you all for help. This is a combination of elven magic, dwarven ingenuity, human medicines, any plants, any animals, anything that might be able to help get Halloweth back to consciousness. Halloweth, you are going to be involved in this because there's going to be a mental aspect to this. As I have previously mentioned, and you've noticed, and so is live chat, I've been beating the crap out of you all lately, and Halloweth, you especially. Most of it is self-inflicted, but we come to the crescendo of it. So Elrond is going to issue the following orders. He wants a number of healing items and potions. He wants this specific plant. See if there's any still on the mountainside within their stores. I need fresh water. And he spends that first hour, and let me make that first in a series of medicine checks. This is a high DC, but this is Elrond, so it is 6d6. You are in good hands, but it has to hit a threshold. So that is 2 5. So you're at a 10, 18, 20. That's a 26 for the first part. That goes. I need all of you to make the checks you would most associate with the things that you are doing. So grabbing water would be an explore check, helping Elrond, shining a light or a torch over the wound, getting stitching so that the injuries can be sealed up, drawing the poison from the wound. I will have you all make a number of checks to just do all of that.
Would mine just be awareness, just to try
yours is coming if they are successful.
Okay,
we're going to do this one after another. Okay.
After we collect the items, can Tanel, when we're healing him, do a little something as well?
Go for it.
Okay, cool. Just let me know when I can.
I think if you would like to do that now in the midst of the healing, you can.
Okay. It's very simple. Like as everyone's preparing, Tanel just slips her hand into Halloweth's, and through Osanwe, the best way she can, just gives the image of the sunlight through Lorien's leaves. Just the as calming of an image of home that they have, just to relax him.
Go ahead and take a fellowship point, and Halloweth gain a hope point. Tanel, your hope points stay even. Leading you on. Okay. Tanel, would you like to have that be your thing that you do in all of this?
I think I might, because I do think that she is still, there's a bit of her that's still disassociating.
Absolutely. So here's what we're going to say. Zach, whatever roll you make, you are going to add a D6. You will use that hope point up. Beery and Tariel. Are you fetching supplies or any number of things, or is there anything specific you would like to do?
For the moment, Tariel is just following orders, just trying to stay busy. So she'll be in and out of the room, getting things and personnel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Beery right now is mainly just trying to be very present
Mm-hmm.
and also trying to be a kind of grounding, like anchoring presence. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Tariel also, I mean, she was commanding forces during all of this, so it may be that sometimes Philoreth or someone will pop in and like give her a report. Like she'll step aside for a
Yeah,
minute,
yeah.
you know, debrief, and then like she's back in. So she'll be sort of
Got it.
in and out
Flitting in and
for
out
a little
as
bit.
you do
Yeah.
this, taking care of it.
Mhm.
Preparations are made. We're going to make a series of rolls now as we wrap up. Tanel, you have done yours. So Zach, you are going to add that D6 to yours.
Going with awareness because
Okay.
I'm favoring.
Unless Chris has frozen and we need to pause.
Oh,
Just kidding. Chris did have some bad cell phone reception. We are back several weeks later. There are new dogs, new hair, new clothes. Everyone's very coordinated. Thank you all. Welcome to the Unpredicted Party Part 2, where we will immediately be taking a break into the break. But when we come back, Hwith, your
Yeah.
moment
Ooh.
approaches.
Ooh.
And welcome back. When we last left off, it was several weeks ago, and my players were in completely different clothing. So we have decided to pick things right back up as Chris and the rest of the party attempt to make sure that Hwith can survive and deal with his oncoming injuries with Elrond's healing check. Now, you guys want a very high number on this. And in fact, I am going to bring
pressure, Elrond.
the camera with me.
Oh god.
I
Oh
try
my
not to put too much
God.
pressure on
Oh,
myself,
boy.
but this is an NPC thing only. So
Is
to
there a way we
begin,
can like
begins-
boost this?
there will be, yes, that's what we're coming. Hang on.
Okay.
Do you remember the Arwen thing where I had all of you interacting with an NPC or a secondary player providing something else?
Yeah.
This is very much the by the power of friendship sort of mechanic that we're building.
Okay.
You
'Cause
ever
the heat-
feel like your fate is just entirely in someone else's hands? Like, this is...
Mhm.
Oh,
In
boy.
Halloweth's fate is in his friend's hands, and it'll be fine.
And it always has been in a way, because we only can
yeah.
do this as a team.
Let's find out if you can. We begin with Elrond's roll. 3,
Oh
2,
boy.
1. That is a 6. All right, 6 is good.
Okay.
It's fine. You
Okay.
can do 6.
6
Right.
out of 12, right?
6 out of
Out of
12, so you're
12.
50% of the way there. So I will now be doing
Oh,
the
boy.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I actually need one more d6. Elrond rolls 66 in healing.
Oh, you're in good hands.
Yeah. Yeah. He's literally the master of healing in Rivendell. But let's see how many ones come here. 2. All right. So we've got 1, 2. That's 4 total. That's 9. That's 15. That's 18 plus 6. That is a 24.
24.
All right. 24. Gonna write that down.
Wait, what did you say 19 or 18?
18 plus
18
the 6.
plus
Yeah,
six.
18 plus
Okay,
the
cool,
6
cool,
is
cool.
24. All right. So on to Will.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Yes,
so
Don.
here's what we're going to be doing. We're all going to be tapping into various parts of the healing process and the mechanics of this game. In your instance, you have a magical connection to Hwith. So I would like you to please make me a lore check to find, in tandem with what Elrond is doing, simultaneously working through the magic that you have with Erengallon, the spirit of the forest, the almost Maya type creature of Mirkwood, as well as the rest of Middle-earth.
Okay. So lore check. That is a 16. Beats my target number by 5.
16, target number by 5. So that's a plus 5 for Elrond. That is a plus 13. Tori, Max, and Charlotte, I will allow you in this moment to do one of a few things. You are more than welcome to do your own thing. You are more than welcome to help with another healing check, or if you would like to provide some sort of fellowship point. I know, Tori, last time you squeezed Halloweth's hand, that got him a fellowship point, and Zach, you will be rolling with that D6 for this check.
Because right now Thranduil and Elrond are they're healing him, right? And we're here
They
as
are,
support.
yes, they are in the midst of healing. If you all choose to make healing checks, I will have Elrond direct you on, hold him steady here, get me that clamp stretcher. It's basically a group effort. You're trying to be collectively a group number.
Is there a way I can like maybe enhearten or persuade Hwith to hold on a little bit more?
That is entirely possible. Oh, what's up?
Did you forget our
Shit.
thing?
Should I do it now?
Wait, let me roll. Let me roll first. How about I roll to heal? You also
I'll be
roll
caboose.
something.
I'll be caboose.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see how I roll.
Okay.
Yes.
I love
yes.
that there's something happening that I have no idea what's happening.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Awesome.
Well, we made eyes at each other when
Last
we were
time.
filming. It was like
We knew.
laser beam. We got I haven't forgotten.
I just
Okay.
wanted to tell the audience who I have not told this to yet. I have a new dog. As of this filming, she has not gotten her new name yet, but she's basically a puppy. She's like a 50-pound puppy, and she's very interested in everything that I do, and she has very little training. So she just wants to be. She's going to come and go a lot, and I'm sorry if she's distracting to anybody. Right now, she's checking out my character sheet. She's very interested in the dice, so she's just going to be in and out. Her shelter name is Rah Rah. If you want to give her something to call her right now. but I'm sorry. So
Well, let's give them
Sis
something to
Pumbaa.
cheer about, Charlotte.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead and make me a roll. See what I
I've
did
got
there?
I'm not favored, but I've got 4 dots in that. so.
I do want to add
Nice.
Yes.
something. We don't really have this role because we very rarely use it.
Mhm.
Is there just an elven healing song that Tanel would
You wanna
maybe
use
know?
song?
Yeah, and it's she's singing it almost like a prayer. It's not
Do
Oh.
Elbereth Gilthoniel.
Yeah, I was gonna
Miriel.
yeah, so it's not like this full on like she's fully committed. It's like this prayer that she just wants Halloweth to be able to hear.
Excellent. Yes. So here's what I will say. I believe we have it crossed out because I
We
wasn't
do,
planning
yeah.
on utilizing it. Elves, I believe, have 1d12 and 3d6s in their song check. I'll allow you to roll that. Or
Two
tech-
2d12 in
2d6.
song.
Okay.
Or sorry, 2d12, 2d6, yes.
Because this is a special occasion and you're pulling something out that's not typically used, I will allow you, if you would prefer, you could also make an enhearten check if that gives you a better option.
Yes, it
Yes.
does.
So so song can be used in a number of ways within these skills, but I think for the purposes of what you're trying to do, this would be more from heart rather than from strength, which is one of the 3 sort of ratings and tiers of various things. So go ahead, or rather, Charlotte, would you like to roll first before Tori does?
I
that-
already rolled,
Okay.
but I'm
what-
happy to roll again because this roll is like mediocre.
did you
even
beat your
with all
target
my
number?
extra dice. Okay, let's see. So my target number is 13. Yeah, I beat that. 10, 10, 13. Yeah, I only got to 15. With 5 dice, I got to
Ooh.
15.
All right. So you
Yeah.
got 15. How many is that over your target number?
2.
2. All right. Cool. 2 over. Tori, what's Tanel doing?
Okay, yeah. Gonna use that in Hearten, and I'm actually gonna use a hope point for this as well.
Go for it.
Give me a second to do math. 20 even, beat my target number by 5.
20. It's a +5. All right. What do you sing O El Bareth Gilthoniel, you think?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Sorry, that's
I don't know very many songs
For a little bit of like extra flair.
Please.
Basically that song, but the old Noldorien version that they would have sung in Gondolin.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that.
I don't know the
Deep
words,
cut.
but like
we don't need to know the words. It's a 5 anyway, no matter
I
how
can
we
hear it.
And I was just kidding, it's a 21.
It's a 21. Oh, okay.
Yes. My bad.
Excellent.
Nice.
Excellent.
Tori.
Okay.
Math is hard.
Math is hard. All right.
It's just the tune of Living on a Prayer by Bon
Correct.
Jovi.
100% Zach.
Oh, El Bareth Gilthoniel. Whoa. Silivrin Men Periel.
We rocked out in Gondolin.
Oh
Like,
no, this is a serious moment.
John Bon Joviel was a real talented bard.
I can't. No.
I can see it. The feathered hair. It's beautiful.
Oh, I just turned so red.
Well, it is kind of like how when they tell
Perfect.
you you're doing CPR to do it to staying alive.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's that, but make it elvish.
We continue with this game that we are so desperately trying. One of your players' lives is in danger. Please.
Yeah.
Fury.
serious face.
Yeah, no kidding. Fury. Would you like
Oh,
to describe the
goodness.
plan, or
Okay.
would you like to make the roll and then tell me what happens so
You
I
know
can walk it
what?
back?
You might have let me just vibe with it.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do
Let's
it.
just see what the hell happens. That's where the
Okay.
magic. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You know when like crisis really happens and you're kind of disassociating, but then the moment kind of like you start to realize what's actually taking place.
Mhm.
Like when he carried Halloweth in, he was just kind of in the moment, but now it's already starting to sink in as people beginning to sing. Elven magic's happening. Beery's starting to fight back tears as he kind of like drops to his knees at his bedside and like just kind of like holding onto his arm and hell, you can't leave us. We need you. I need you. I mean, just think of how much brooding you could do after all of this. I, I, I've always wanted a brother. I never thought it'd be a moody elf, taking his place. You, I know you can't hear me, but if you can, I need you to fight. But if you can hear me, and yes, I'm talking to you, that darkness, like a coward hiding in my friend, like a parasite, you don't want him. He's practically foregone anyways. No. You want something pure. No. Yeah, you want a symbol of hope, of love, even unity between elves and dwarves. Yeah, what's the sporting some old grizzled elf, huh? Yeah, I know you don't got it in you. And he reaches into his pocket and he grabs the diamond and he holds it to the wound on Hwith, looming over him, cupping his hands. And what do you say? You got it in you? And he's trying to taunt or persuade the darkness to try and infect this fucking diamond, and maybe looking at his compatriots for I don't know, hands over hands. I don't.
Yeah.
He's panicking.
This is
Yeah.
absolutely the moment where Tariel, who, as I recall, kind of had a moment the last time, with just dealing with, oh cool, the king is returned, and I don't know, it was weird, it was awkward, but she seems to have sort of gathered herself. This is the only thing that she cares about right now, and she'll step up and maybe just put a hand on Beery's shoulder on one side. I feel like my microphone just did a thing. So if Tanel or somebody else wants to approach from the other side, his shoulder's available, and she'll squeeze and she'll take up the song in harmony.
Oh, okay. Well, Beery, that was dope as hell. So well done on that. Here's what I will say. Beery has kind of inadvertently stumbled upon the thing I thought was going to happen 20 minutes from now. So we will go like this. As all of you watch Beery pull out this diamond that has stayed with you despite your best efforts to lose it somehow, you watch as Hwith's skin begins to almost start glowing just ever so slightly, the same way that Arwen's did in the Paths of the Dead. And you watch as his head sort of starts to begin to tick one way and another, and his eyes open, and a voice that is not Hwith's comes out.
Oh, damn.
Oh.
Don't. Hwith, we're going to come to you very briefly.
Oh, what does that mean?
Hwith, as you enter this mind palace area of unconsciousness, you begin to feel a secondary presence behind you, very similar to how when you were at the top of the tower in Gondolin, in that sort of almost flashback, not quite conversation with yourself scene.
Yeah.
As you tried to sort of look within yourself to find out what you could about the girdle. This presence, though, feels very different because Thranduil is right behind you. As Chris, you have rolled high enough to tap into the mental part of the magic of Middle-earth. You two
Okay.
have a few moments, and I will cut you off to have a conversation.
Hwith will look behind him and be very taken aback. This is not the setting in which he thought he would be encountering Thranduil. So he looks back and he says, "My king, you're here. I'm here. How are we here?"
Well, you seem determined to find new and interesting ways to damage my calm.
I have a knack for that, it seems.
You do.
I sorry you're here. If we're in this place, that cannot be good.
Thranduil, go ahead and make me an awareness check.
Oh boy. Okay.
Or if you'd prefer, a riddle check. I believe that's 1d12 and 2 or 3d6s.
Only
This is
one
a
on
first
mine.
riddle.
Only one on yours. Okay.
No, I'd much prefer to do
Yeah, that is a
awareness.
Go ahead.
first riddle.
Yeah.
I did just roll awareness. 22.
With a 22, you begin to realize that the here that Hwith is talking about is not necessarily a physical place in his mind. It's not a place within the magic. It is a connection. The same way that Osanwe works, the same way that your horn with Tanel works. There is a power within Middle-earth, the Feya and the Roa, all of that, is all encompassing in one, all part of Eru Iluvatar, the god of Middle-earth's plan. And this is just yet another way that it has come through. But what you need to do next is not necessarily clear to you, but you know that it is also needing to happen in Hwith's head as well as his body. There is both a physical ailment and a mental component to this, almost like a mental block.
Okay. This space, Hwith, is of our own making. Your mind and mine. This darkness that's inside of you. I need to connect to it. And I need you to help visualize it passing from you to me.
I shall, if you ask for it one more time. But this shadow is not something that I bring up easily. It is an ill omen. It will consume you as it has me.
Chris, Thranduil disappears, and Hwith, you see in front of you your brother Maeglin holding a iron sword and begins to sort of lunge at you, but playfully, as if you have sort of started your practicing in fencing and fighting within Gondolin. As he begins to sort of jest at you, he's come. What's wrong? You're not attacking. You're not going to improve if you don't.
I'm doing everything I can, brother.
No, you're not. I know when you're... Come.
My mind may be elsewhere. I apologize.
Are you thinking about Idril again?
Brother, please. And he looks around to check that no one's around. Like, not here. This is not the time.
Oh, you think that I'm the only one that noticed? You don't think you... Subtlety is not your strong suit, brother. Or
I wear my heart on my sleeve. What can I say? I can't help it.
Not quite. Just that you stare.
Is she not worth staring at?
Oh, of course she is. Of course she is. But King's daughter, yeah, subtlety.
Subtlety. Listen, I'm aware that nothing can come of this. I am merely appreciating her beauty, her person, her song, her smile. That's all. I'm allowed these small pleasures. I will not act upon it. You have my word.
So you don't mind if I...
And Hwith's face just drops and he said, You
never know.
And he looks to him. There's something within him which you can tell he's fighting with. And he looks up and the smile is back. He says, Brother, by all means, she would be a lucky woman indeed.
Thank you. Do you truly think so highly of me?
Certainly more than myself.
You were always very self-deprecating.
We will.
I don't want to pry. We've only this is very new for me. I didn't have siblings, or I suppose I did. What?
Well,
Why were you in the woods all those years ago? Because when I met, I thought you were. When I met you, I thought you were some sort of woodland creature, but
I thought you were an apparition.
I
had no
thought you
idea.
were an apparition. Who sends a child out into the woods? That just did he tell you to stay there? What was the reasoning? I
He
don't.
told me many things, but
Huh.
that I was not to come near, that I was not to interfere. And alas, here we are. So it clearly did not stop me. However, it doesn't matter now. He is gone, for better
Yes.
or for worse.
Yes.
And we must deal with that ourselves now. It's you and me. Father,
Yes.
mother are no more. We have each other. And that's all that matters.
Can I ask you something?
Please.
Do you ever miss your mother?
I confess I never really knew her that well. That whole memory, that side of my past is but a cloud, a shadow of memories which disillusioned me. And now I am finally free of that pain, of that entrapment. I'm in Gondolin, a shining city that of no comparison.
You didn't know this city existed a few weeks ago. Come now.
And I can appreciate it all the more.
Very well. On guard then. And the scene fades as we will transition back to those trying to heal Hwith. Beery, Hwith has just spoken to you, but not in his own voice.
Oh yeah, don't, right? Or stop.
Don't.
What
He
was
said
it?
don't.
Don't. What did it sound like? There's just no familiarity. There's nothing.
No familiarity. It's just a slightly deeper, more guttural version of Hwith's voice.
Yeah. But it didn't sound like Gwaihir when Gwaihir has spoken to us.
It did not sound like Gwaihir. No.
Okay. Oh God. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm taking it back.
I threw you for a loop, didn't I?
Yeah. He's gonna press the diamond a little bit, like into the wound a little bit, like
Ah,
harder.
huge scream, just absolute pain that he's
And
in.
he's, kind of like squeezing the pus out of something. Just he's using like the power of his hands to push. He goes, don't me.
I'm gonna go ahead and make another healing check for Elrond real quick.
Do you need
Six.
any rolls from me? I just want to know.
Not yet. So that's 10, 20, 26. So that's a 28. So I was going to have you make a roll if he did not succeed. But I think at this point, Elrond is going to place his hand on top of yours. And you are going to watch as this sort of black ichor, kind of similar to what you saw come out of Sauron as the Morgul blades have turned to dust, this sort of consistent thing you have seen throughout the entirety of the campaign, throughout your lives as evil and ooze seeps out of the wound. And it's almost like this levitating liquid almost.
Yeah. Is it going into the diamond or just free floating?
It's free floating. It's free floating in
Okay.
the air. And it almost seems, those like putties or those sands where the more pressure you put onto it, the less water you can see. But if it's, floating loosely, there's, it's a little bit more, I don't know how to describe it.
Like oobleck.
Yes, oobleck. It has the consistency of oobleck.
Can I do something?
Yeah, go for it.
Get in there.
The little vial behind Tariel's ear, that's got like a healing potion in it, doesn't it?
It's got the mustache hair that she fixed on him. He remembered which one it was.
Just
That's
the one
right.
mustache hair. You do have
Okay.
healing potions with you if you're attempting to do something with it.
Yeah. How much of this ichory stuff is like in the air?
Oh, not much. It's the size of like a quarter or a small coin.
Okay. Can she take the vial from behind her ear, like detach it?
Mhm.
Because it's the spider's thorax.
Yeah.
She detaches it and still singing,
Mhm.
pops open the cork.
Okay.
And
Ooh.
yeah.
Make me an
I wanna try and-
athletics check, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love this.
This
You
is
have to beat an
exciting.
11.
Okay. Ooh,
on,
that's a
Tariel.
7, 2 6s, a 5, and a 2.
Ooh.
Yes.
There we go. You, quick as a flash, bring your hand around, clamp it down, and as the sort of oobleck consistency goes into the vial, it hardens and you hear it begin to clink against the glass.
Ooh, like a symbiote. Oh
Ew.
God.
Ew.
Would you like to examine it?
Yeah, she'll with absolute revulsion,
Mhm.
but a fascinated revulsion will
Go ahead and make me this would be an insight check, and I'll allow anybody who's not Halloweth to do so.
Man, you're letting me
Yeah.
roll all
Is
the things
this
I've got
is
left
this
for
like
Dawson today.
anything? Is this like anything that Tauriel and Thranduil have encountered before?
Currently, you'd need to pass your insight check and an awareness check as well.
Okay.
21.
21 from Beery.
16.
That's a Gandalf
Hey.
on insight.
Tanel is too focused on her singing prayer.
That's totally fair.
With an extra 6 too, so it was
Excellent. Okay. So, Beery, you know that it's metal.
25.
You know that it is metal. Thranduil, you know that it is meteorite.
Oh,
It's
okay.
got chills.
Are we all connecting? Tariel just sort of reach out a little tendril of inquisitiveness to Thranduil, just like she'll do it almost secondhand or almost reflexively, just like she's looking at this thing. She knows he's got more wisdom than she does.
Mhm.
And just sort of hold it out to him and pass this thought of, what have you seen this before?
You have not seen it,
I
Thranduil,
was saying,
but
not
you have
seen it.
heard.
I've
You have
heard of it.
heard of a legend and of a tale. And you very quickly, I think, begin to piece together what may or may not have caused this kind of injury. As the voice within Halloweth says, a token for the boy. Scene transitions. Halloweth, we come back to you. We see the fire continuing to rise as you are working in the forge within Gondolin, providing your smithcraft to the peoples there, as Maeglin, your half-brother, calls you over and says, Halloweth, a word, please.
Of course.
Okay. He brings you into sort of a side room that almost looks like a utility closet, almost a little bigger than that. And he's got a blanket sort of in his hands. And he goes, you had spoken about your skill as a forge master. And our father never, I was wondering if I might be able to use your expertise, please, if you don't mind.
I thought you would never ask.
Well, I didn't think to, but
Yes. And he rests a hand on Maeglin, and he kind of brings his hand kind of up, and he just places a hammer like straight into it. Say, let's get started. Did you have anything in mind? Blades are a specialty, but I'm sure we can experiment.
I need you to tell me if you can, if you feel anything with this. And he unwraps the cloth, and it is a very long, what looks to be iron sword.
Can I examine this closer without touching it first? Because Halloweth is always wary of new materials that looks like something, but may not be quite.
It
what it
looks
seems.
like something you recognize.
He takes a step back initially, and he looks to Maeglin, and he says, Father gave you this?
I stole it.
This is Maeglin, this is highly dangerous, highly volatile. This is of a foreign origin, not of this world.
It speaks to me. The sword speaks to me, and I am frightened. I do not know what dark magic is wielded in this or what our father did, but I hear a voice. It may be his.
Come with me. We will bury it. This is not to be used. You are not to come to this again. Do you understand me?
Yes. Thank you.
Of course. I will not teach you how to make this. I will not teach you how to wield it. This is to be forgotten. You understand?
What was he doing with it? To have such power,
This blade wants to be used. This blade lusts for blood like no other. Do you understand?
may
You are
lust.
better than him.
I know that, but perhaps it is not the only one that our father made. And I think at this moment, Halloweth, it would dawn on you that there is another sword in King Thingol's halls, and it is called Anglakel. And its twin is currently in the hands of your brother, who is saying that it speaks to you. And for those of you that maybe have not read the Silmarillion, this is a very prominent sword made by Aeol out of a meteorite that has a semblance of sentience in one form or another.
If anyone's read, any in terms of Marvel, Black Knight, the Ebony Blade from Black Knight is very, very similar and based off of this.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's a blade that lusts for blood. The more you kill, the more it wants to kill. It's Black Knight is my favorite superhero. He's Dane Whitman, played by Kit Harington in Eternals. So
very nice.
Anyway, little side note: if you are aware of that lore, you will be aware of this lore.
Excellent.
Also, what was the one in Critical Role? Vox Machina?
Grog's
Craven
sword.
Edge.
Yeah.
Craven Edge. There it
Edge.
is.
Craven Edge.
That's the
The other
one.
I got you.
Thank you.
God, if I had a nickel for every sentient sword that thirsted for. Anyway, not important. We begin with it's Tolkien, Ray's the grandfather of them all. Thranduil, I'm gonna invite you to try and interrupt this memory. Go ahead and make me another lore check as you try and pry deeper into Halloweth's mind.
Through Osanwe, are we able to not all of us can see what Halloweth can see. Are we able to perceive that he's
You are
experiencing
welcome.
something?
You are welcome to try. I would need Thranduil to roll high enough.
That's a 17, beats it by 6.
By 6. Hang on. All right, Thranduil, I will allow you to make me an awareness check so that you can split your mind both physically and mentally so that you can have a voice in both areas.
That's 18, beats it by 7.
By 7? All right. Thranduil, you watch as your body returns to this sort of mind palace area of Halloweth's. As you
Did
watch,
I see anything that he was experiencing?
I think you are just now watching him and someone you may or may not recognize walk away with a very specific looking sword in hand. And I think because of your successful awareness check, knowing that it is meteorite, you can put 2 and 2 together in this.
Okay.
Cool. What are you saying to Tinel, Elrond, Beery, and Tariel while this happens?
Me?
Yeah,
Oh,
you have
gosh.
in successfully rolling, you are able to communicate what you are seeing.
And I assume knowing that all of this happens within the span of a few seconds, right?
Yes.
Because like
Yes.
Tariel's like holding this meteorite up to you still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you figure it out pretty quickly. What's going
I think he'll lock eyes with Tauriel for a second and say, "It's Galvor," and then look at Elrond.
Elrond knows.
Elrond
Would you like to
knows.
explain to those who maybe do not know, Chris, what Galvor?
Galvorn is the metallic substance that Aeol was able to refine from the meteorites, and it is what he used to forge the twin swords, Anglahel and Angwirel.
Do a lore check to see if I know that story.
Yes.
Can I do that as well?
Yeah. I think you'd actually, yeah. Tinel can do it with favor. Charlotte Tariel cannot.
Yeah, I just did a regular roll. Oh wait, though I am favored in that.
Yeah, roll 2d12s. Take the higher.
One was a 4, one was a 5. Okay, I'll take the 5. 10 plus 15. That's an 18.
18
which beats
succeeds.
my target number 14.
Fantastic. Yeah, you clock immediately. Tanel.
25. So it beats
25.
it by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a 6 in there too.
All right, you know absolutely about this. Beery, you don't know any. I mean, unless Thranduil is explaining.
No, there's
this.
no way in hell.
Yeah, no. Unless we're explaining the lore out loud as we go. But I'd say for now, you probably don't know. The rest of you are free. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I think that he would look at Elrond and just be like, can one be infected by Galvor? Like he's taken aback by it. Like, why are we getting this out of an elf?
Like, Halloweth is stuck. He's not responding to anything, and there is a new horror coming out of his body.
Yeah, is it still ickering? Is it still leaking?
It's just the little bit that came out.
Okay.
We would need to do another round of healing checks to see if there is success. If you would like to attempt to engage with the voice coming out of Halloweth's body, you're more than welcome to.
Can I try again with Osanwe and show a different image of Lorien?
Yes, the difficulty is going to be a little bit higher. Tell me what you beat your target.
That's fine.
By.
I think it's almost like like she wants to mentally shoot an arrow of this image into Halloweth. Like, come on.
To disrupt it.
Yeah, to disrupt it. And because she's still singing, it's going to be of like a festival or something like that where all of the elves were singing with the sunlight or the moonlight coming through. And just trying to remind him of that, of horror.
All right. This is going to be a contested check then.
Okay.
Halloweth. Actually, Tori, what check are you making? Is this song or in Hearten?
I'm gonna go with in Hearten still.
Okay. Halloweth, in order to hear this, if you want to hear this, go ahead and make me an awareness check, please.
I like the idea from Halloweth's point of view. I'm actually midway typing this to Don. Images he actually won't right now. He doesn't want to hear it. That's not on his mind. He doesn't actually need to. Lorien was a wonderful way to forget his past, but it's still there. He needs to fix that. Images of Lorien are papering over cracks right now.
Thranduil.
It's not actually going to fix what's wrong with him right now. It'll help ease. So he might still want the easing, which I might actually roll for anyway. But I don't think it's gonna he's not gonna. He may hold on a little longer, maybe because of it. So I'll roll for that just in case. But
that's
it may not be quite there.
That's kind of, that's what Tanel's doing. Is it's like she thinks because she's been in this that you are trapped in the horror of your own mind, and so it is just an arrow straight through of just like, do you remember? Do you remember this? And I rolled a 22 with with a 6 in there. So I beat it by 7.
7. Okay.
Yeah, 7.
Keep that in mind. You get Eye of Sauron.
Ooh.
Which kind of fits with the story, I guess.
You are going to be dragged back to the land of the living, kicking and screaming. For awareness with a Gandalf, I will say, with an Eye of Sauron, Halloweth, I will say not only do you not hear the song, but you actually fall deeper into this sense of dread.
Okay. Cool.
Do we see his body react in any way? Does he seem to change in any way? Or do we feel him change?
When the song comes on, you hear the body, or you watch the body give a great undulating twitch, and you're going to hear Halloweth cry out in Halloweth's voice.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Thranduil's instinct here is to not necessarily pull him back, but to see the depth of the source.
Ah, okay. Go ahead and
So it's
make-
almost a
yeah.
lean into the discomfort
Mhm.
kind of instinct. So if Hwith and Thranduil are in that liminal connection space at all, did Thranduil see any of his flashback, or was that just
I
split
would
second
say I think
Hwith's
you're
mind only?
I think you're going to come in and see a little bit of that scene play out as they walk away and go to bury the sword in a cave.
Okay, and then bringing in the actual life knowledge of seeing this material come out of him.
Exactly. Yes.
I think Thranduil's going to try and draw Hwith's gaze in this sort of liminal space to his and just say, "Take me with you. Let me see what he did."
Hwith, you are within your own mind, and I think more than capable of deciding one way or another. Your call.
Yeah, he with his relationship with Thranduil, he's going to give him a look of, well, actually, no, he'll just say, brace yourself, and takes his hand, and you will feel kind of like a falling sensation.
Okay.
All right, Zach. Start falling. Tell me what he sees.
You will see the city under siege as Hwith is running with a pure hatred, a burning rage which he hasn't felt for hundreds of years. He is running through a city. He sees a very young elf's house collapse. The structure falls down. And he keeps running. He runs all the way to the top, and he bellows at the top of his voice, "To you all! Face me!"
From behind you, Hwith, you are going to see Maeglin, your half brother. You haven't found him yet.
Not yet. But when I do, when I do, he will not know the meaning of pain. He will feel every ounce of my blade. I swear that to Eru Iluvatar.
Idril knows nothing. Please.
She will be spared. Of course, you have my word.
Thank you. And he glances off over to the right, and you see a group of soldiers that have been running sort of in the battlement just below you, and they all look up and see you, and one of them kind of points a little bit, but the two of you are seen talking to each other, and they just keep on going. There is work to be done. There is fire everywhere. There are balrogs distances away, and I think Maeglin is going to look at you and say, I have to go.
Save as many as you can. Get out.
And you, if you find Tuor, you and
I will bring you his head.
Yes. Yes, do that. Please. And he runs off. Are you on the battlements? Do you continue to look for him, or do you kind of scan? I can have you make a scan check to try and find him.
He'll scan around. He's not going to know exactly where he is. So
make me a scan check.
Oh, he misses his target number by 1.
In that case, you feel the point of a sword at your back about 5 minutes into your search. I heard you were looking for me. You and that traitor brother finally done in?
How dare you besmirch his name? And he whips around with a parry down and puts Tuor right on point. He says, "Of course it was you. He told me never to let a human into this place. Thingol thought the world of you, but I knew better. Maeglin knew better. Is Idril around at this point, or is it just me and Tuor?
Make me a scan check.
Ah,
What's going on?
he succeeds.
You
I'm freaking out.
what do you beat your target number by?
4.
4. You do not see her.
And he's gonna gesture around. Well, considering that they are never far apart, he'll proclaim to the city of, and I know you're here. Idril, if you can hear me, I know you're never far from his side, but it had to be him, didn't it? It had to be him. It's always him. You chose a human over one of your own. You chose him over me.
Enough.
No one
Halloweth,
choose me.
no more. No more. I come to you, sword pointed at your back, yet in friendship. He who hesitates is lost, and yet I would save you if you would but wait.
Waiting.
It was not.
I've done my waiting, and he will lunge straight for Tuor.
Make me an attack roll, please.
This is exactly
Woo!
I think what is happening is what I thought would happen.
Yeah.
This is happening. Bad
didn't make popcorn.
brother, bad brother.
Yeah, he beats. Yeah, by
What do
like,
you? I need your total
Oh,
number
okay.
because you have to try and hit his
22.
22.
Mhm.
22 does not hit.
So he will lunge.
Oh,
He will keep it. There is
Dang!
fury burning within him, and he is in a wild slash. Every bit of training that Maeglin offered him, every possible rational thought in his mind is gone. He is blindly slashing, thrusting. Everything is at Tuor right now. And he is just repeating over and over again of, why couldn't you choose me? Why does no one choose me?
I'm going to go ahead and make an attack for Tuor right now. Remind me of your parry score. Hwith.
18.
That's 10. That's 19. That's 20. With a 6. And he is using Drumbore leg, so it would be bludgeoning damage. Halloweth, you are going to take... You are going to take 18 points of damage as the butt of the axe, not the front, or excuse me, not the butt, the flat end of the double-sided axe that he uses, slams into your body. He's not trying to kill you, but
No.
he is so forceful that you go flying off of your feet and you land, and your head hits the stone of the ground. And as your head hits it, it slinks to the right, and you see, hiding just in the alleyway, Idril, who makes eye contact with you. And in a moment of connection that she has never shared with the likes of you before, you feel a Sanwe enter your mind, and it is Idril. And we've often said that Osanwe is very much not sentences. It is feelings. It is thoughts. It is understanding of a thought that you have given to someone else. And when she looks at you, you understand instantly that Idril is saying, I have never loved you, not in the way you want me to, but I assure you, with every power of my being, that you are my friend, and that I do not believe you are a traitor. If Tuor says Maeglin has betrayed us, and you say Tuor has betrayed us, there is but one person left to blame, Halloweth. I will urge him to let you live. But do not look for us. No.
I have
Do
never
not
been
speak.
a traitor.
Do not speak. I do not think you are a traitor. But someone in your family may be. Tuor and Idril just does that like wife stare if you've ever seen on TV or a movie or really intense gaze. She just gives a small shake of her head, and Tuor, standing over you, ready to chop your head off because he thinks you're a traitor, nods and turns to leave.
He'll
have a
just
mo-
look at Idril leaving, and he's just pleading. There are tears down his face at this point, and he just says back in the only Osan way that he can muster of, "I am no traitor. Don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Not again." And he understands in that moment exactly that she is right, that he has not just lost Idril, but he's lost his brother at the same time, who is a traitor. And he bends, he curls, his sword drops from his hand, and he weeps openly.
Goodbye, Hwith. Free yourself from this. Scene transitions. We are back in the real world. We have one more round of healing checks to get through.
Oh.
Checking in. This is some heavy stuff. Everybody doing okay? Do we all want to take 5 now and have that be our break, or do we want to let Charlotte go and come back?
Let's take a 5-er.
Okay, cool. Let's take our
Yeah, we can
5
take
here.
5.
And when we come back, before we get into our final rolls for this healing portion, we're going to go ahead and take another quick break so that my players, despite us filming this on multiple days, can have their free time back. All right, we'll be right back. One, and welcome back. When we last left off, we had just come back to the real world as Hwith's mind attempts to undergo this very deep, complex processing in the midst of fighting off some great horror. Thranduil, I think Chris, you said you had something you wanted to.
Oh, it was just as the view comes back to the group, I think all they see, besides whatever thrashing Hwith happens to be doing, I think they just see a single tear sort of fall down from Thranduil's
Drink for single perfect
eyelashes.
tear.
Single perfect tear.
Yep.
Thank you. My own word crutches
I
have
think this would be the
Perfect.
first time that I do think this would be the first time that Tauriel has seen Thranduil cry.
Yeah, go ahead and take or lose. I'll let you decide this. Does Thranduil take a hope point or does he lose a hope point for the tier?
I would think it would be gain and not lose, because there's a certain vulnerability that
I'm
is
gonna
a gift in the moment.
I would
Okay.
like to venture gain, because maybe in that moment, Tauriel does something that in all of the hundreds of years that we've been working together, she would not have done. And this might be a way for you to know that she is a different Tauriel than the last one that you saw. She, seeing this, maybe even really without losing focus on Halloweth, will reach out and take your hand and squeeze. And you might feel this little like, welcome to the power of friendship kind of vibe. Like, this is what we've been doing
I'm part of the
while
group.
you were gone. That's
Quick,
the
Charlie.
power of Halloweth.
Quick, bottle it.
Yeah. I think if Tanel sees that, she's gonna take Halloweth's hand because she's
We're gonna form a circuit.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's also one hand on
Care Bear
Beery's
staring.
shoulder. Yeah, one hand on Beery's shoulder, one hand in Halloweth's, because she's terrified he's slipping and that
So
he's not coming back.
that's sort of the thing that I would like to do. Like, so Don, hello.
More dog.
More dog is back after the break. I take it that Thranduil has witnessed all of this that has
Yes.
just unfolded, right? But we
Yes.
haven't.
You have not.
Have
No,
we
but
ascertained yet, like, are we feeling shadows of Halloweth's emotional state? As
I
this is happening?
think feeling Halloweth having rolled that Eye of Sauron is a little bit more cut off from you than you realize. And I think everything that is being expressed to you is either the voice that is clearly not Halloweth, the body that is clearly not in his control, and Thranduil's words, which are not your
Okay.
own. So it's a whole bunch of everything, but it's not quite, you don't have a lot of agency currently unless
Sure.
you go actively seek it right now.
Will Tariel, as she is trying to be more actively engaged with what is going on internally with Halloweth, as she's basically trying to sort of diagnose this and understand this the best way that she can with her limited tools, will she feel him slip away?
That is going to be either a healing check or an insight check. The healing check can potentially bring him back or give Halloweth an additional bonus. An insight check will allow you to more precisely figure out what he needs.
Okay. Well, I've got the same number of dots in both, so
it's a question of what would you
I'm
like
going
to
to
do?
insight with a hope point.
Okay.
Could I add a fellowship to that?
You may go. What did you do?
Maybe
That's a
don't need it.
Gandalf,
No, I
baby.
already said it.
Oh,
And I didn't even roll my hope point. Didn't even roll
didn't
it.
need to.
Didn't
Need to.
need
Actually,
to.
you know
Bury
what? You
it.
can.
Might as well.
Yeah, keep that hope point. Keep that
Keep
hope
it.
point if you
I'll
want to
keep
hang
it.
on to it.
Yeah.
With
Okay.
a Gandalf insight check. Wow. Okay, that's 2
Yes.
through this. Here's how here's how we will take this. Tariel. You take Thranduil's hand. Tanel, you put a hand on shoulder of, is it Beery or
Yeah,
Thranduil?
Beery's shoulder, and then take Halloweth's hand. And it's just a white knuckled grip.
Okay. You all begin to feel the body start to shake a little bit. It's like a very violent but small tremor, like a controller or a cell phone vibrating as the skin begins to glow again. And Tariel, on a Gandalf insight check, you having heard what Thranduil is saying, watching Halloweth's body, hearing the voice inside, you know he has in some way, shape, or form been possessed. And it is not necessarily the ring wraiths that are trying to take him over, but rather in this moment of desperation, you throw all caution to the wind and think, what is the strangest thing that could possibly have happened within dark magic? And it occurs to you that Sauron is not the only bad guy in the first age of Middle Earth. There is Morgoth, there is Eol, there are any number of vampires and spiders and dark evil creatures and Balrogs, but there is an elf that dabbled in the dark magic.
Yeah.
And perhaps a kind of sentient meteorite, a metal of sorts that you know of, that has just come out of his body, that you hear. You have a feeling you know who the voice is.
Let me do it.
Do it. Do it.
This is less exposition. I know what I need to do. So with all of that and with sort of the circuit of friendship completed here, she will try to send a surge of herself, of all of us, through Beery into the diamond.
Yes.
And like Beery will feel her increase her grip on his shoulder as she, staring into Halloweth's face, will say, "Name yourself."
Eol.
She has nothing for that. You all will feel her recoil in revulsion and confusion, because none of us know his connection to Halloweth. And just like she had a feeling, but she doesn't understand why she had that feeling. And maybe she even diverts a piece of herself to Thranduil, like, do you understand this? What do we do?
Before you do that, 10. The rest of you watch as Elrond stops what he's doing, pulls out a dagger, and holds it to Halloweth's throat.
Do not.
Merely a precaution, Lady Tanel. I assure you, I do not want to hurt your friend, but I know what this elf has done.
Beery's hand wraps around his wrist, and he's seconds away from breaking it. Not that elf.
I think that Thranduil locks eyes with Eol through Halloweth.
Mhm.
And he just says, "He's not yours. He never was. This one is ours."
I need everybody to go ahead and make me healing checks.
Ooh.
Or if you would like to attempt to channel, if you have channeled with Halloweth's magic before, you may do a
I
lord.
was just about to say,
I'm luring it up.
Beery's channeled quite a bit.
Beery has
Yeah.
channeled quite a bit.
Question.
Go.
Do I have 3 or 4 in lore?
We increased it to 4.
Okay, I did not
Yes.
have that correct on my sheet.
Nope, you're good. You're good.
That's a
I've
20
been rolling
with a
one
6,
shot this whole
baby.
time.
What am I rolling for channeling?
You can roll lore if you would like to attempt to connect to Halloweth's more magical side, or if you would like to attempt to heal his physical body, you can make a healing check.
Oh God.
I lord as fuck. I'm the lord
Oh, yeah.
of the lore.
What'd you get, Charlotte?
I got a 20 with a 6.
20.
I got a 20 without a 6.
20. All right.
Hell yeah.
21.
21.
Lore.
Okay. Lore.
Got this die with the Gandalf that I rolled. I'm just admiring it.
All right, Beery.
It's a pass, but not by much with an 18.
18. Okay.
Yeah, he's mainly focusing on, all the time he spent channeling.
Did
having
you all
Halloweth
make
channel
lore
for him.
checks? Did anybody here make a healing check?
No.
Okay. No, that's okay. I will have. No, that's okay. That's okay. I have plans built in for that. Let me cook.
You understand him, but he's dead.
See, here's the thing. Here's the
Oh
thing.
no!
The guy that's been healing is the one dying on the bed.
Yeah.
Yes.
The cleric is down.
So
Yeah.
all of us-
What happens when the cleric goes down?
Right.
Oh no, it's up to
Oh
barbarian.
no!
And the artificer and the ranger. All right. Here we
That's
go.
what
Here's
happened to my
Elrond. So Elrond rolled a Gandalf.
Hell
Oh,
yeah,
thank
he
God.
did.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
Now,
Thank
what,
goodness.
what that means is that Hallowith's body will likely be just fine. His mind, however, is a different story. Now,
Oh,
Hallowith,
What does it mean?
you had all 4 people involved in this roll lore checks, pass their target numbers, and attempt to connect with you in some way, shape, or form. My question to you is, do you let that happen? And if you do not, be prepared to roll.
Can I preface?
Say that again?
Can I preface this?
Maybe.
Since this is happening simultaneously, and Thranduil just basically challenged Aeol in a way. Inside Halloweth's mind, can I have Thranduil almost like over his shoulder, just whispering into his ear after he's repeating, "Why does nobody ever pick me? Why does no one ever stay or choose me?"
No, but I will give you the
Okay.
opportunity to complete that portion if you would like later on, if
Cool.
it comes up. That is going to be there.
Happily overruled.
Okay, great. Hallowith.
Halloweth is. It's not going to be right now, because right now he is in the midst of it. He's not done. This hasn't ended for him yet. He hasn't actually accepted what he needs to accept at this point. He is also in the fetal position, weeping on the ground. He's not really letting anyone in at this point. He will, however, I will say he will let you observe. He's not letting you
Okay.
in. He's not letting you be a physical presence within this, but he
Fair.
is opening the window for you to essentially be an audience to this, because he knows it's important you see it. He
Okay.
is accepting everyone here as this new family which he has, and allowing you to see why it is important for you to be overriding his old one. But you
Okay.
cannot. He is in the thick of it right now.
Hallowith, how long do you stay curled up in the fetal position in Gondolin as the city burns?
A minute or two. It's not that long before he picks himself up, and he'll feel the presence. I think at this point, since it's his own mind, he'll feel the entrance of new presence there, and he'll know exactly who it is. And every part of his being is telling him to run, to hide this, to shut that door, but he's forcing it open, allowing you to see this, because it's important you know exactly why he is the way that he is, and has been this whole time.
How long do you keep fighting?
Fighting what
Within
exactly?
Gondolin? How long do you keep fighting within Gondolin? How many hours, days? What is the end goal for your survival? Because we know you survive. There's no danger to you
No,
here.
of course. Well, for him, he knows that he doesn't leave Gondolin just like that. He is going to attempt to. He realizes as well what happens. He also remembers harkening back to the guards that watched him speak with Maegolin, to the fact that they then witnessed him attempt to skewer Tuor, and thinks, just every part of him is going, what have I done? I've ruined everything I've built. And he'll try to run. He'll try to exit, but he will for a moment consider himself and just step atop the walls of the battlements and look down on the peril, the slaughter that's going on beneath him as his feet kind of encroach on the edge.
And it is a slaughter. There are Balrogs riding dragons. Half the city is in flame. There are banners flowing in the wind every which way. A few of them are burning. A few of them are covered in blood laying on the ground. There are elven bodies everywhere. And as you sort of reach that edge of the battlements on the wall, you hear a voice inside your head. Don't.
He'll look down and just close his eyes, trying to shake the voice out of his head.
You are not done yet. Come find me.
And what should be rage and bitterness and anger clouding his mind, all he feels is loss and sadness and so much guilt as he begins to turn around and really he knows exactly where to go. And he steps off and he walks to the walls, essentially, atop the walls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Much later, not really sure, time is skewed for you. You find the cave where you buried the sword with Maeglin. It was very easy to find. You knew where it was, and when Tuor threw Maeglin off the battlements for being a traitor, for opening the gates of Gondolin, for letting the enemy in, for trying to steal Idril and literally kidnapping her, he was injured severely. And you followed the trail of blood that he had all the way to the cave. He must have clawed on his hands and knees for hours. But he's there, just with his back resting up against a stone and a small mound next to him on the right of dirt that has been dug up, and there's a hole next to him. You found me.
Where else would you be?
Oh, in my bed, warm with Idril right now. I'm there, actually, Hwith. Would you mind leaving? I'm having such sweet dreams as I fade.
Was this all for her?
No. No, I did it for me. I deserve it. Come, he was your father too. I can't even imagine what he put you through after all. Don't you feel there's something missing, Hwith? He took something from us.
Of course he did. That's who he was. He took. And he gave only pain. We built something good. We built something worth fighting for, and this is...
And then a human comes in. And you know what men do. You know how they fall. You know the corruption it gets inside that this city would have fallen. I was making sure it was staying safe and that he was gone. And he tries to catch himself, and you see he coughs up blood.
She loves him, and we had to accept that. This isn't right, and you know it. This is the blade. This is him. You haven't.
No. Don't you understand, Hwith? It was never Blaine talking. It was our father. Our father. He's here. He's all around us. Don't you hear him? Don't you hear him?
Of course I hear him, Maeglin. I've heard him since the day I told him where you were.
You watch his face fall. You did. What?
It was me. I never thought it would come. I never thought it would come to this, but it was me, and I'm sorry. I can't be angry at you.
How long has it been, Howard? How many years?
Too many to count. I'm sorry. You left me. You left me with him, Maeglin. You and your mother left. And I was so angry. I was so hurt. So I followed you. And I took him with me. And he thought I'd left. But I stayed, and I stayed with him. And I showed him where you went. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But this, all of this, and he gestures to Gondolin. All of this is my fault. And now I know what I have to do. I never expected you to do this, but if he's with you, I shouldn't be surprised. And he lashes out and he begins to pick up his sword. And he just prepares to cleave it down on top of Maeglin.
Make me an attack roll.
"21.
So you hit his parry score, and he hits yours. So what I would like you to imagine, as you both stand in the, I assume, forward position, is the strike that you are going to bring down. Whatever injuries he had may have been incredibly severe. But there is just a little bit of faking it that he was doing. He is not quite as out of commission as it seems, and he parries your blow, but not quite enough that it catches him in the shoulder, and that throws him so off balance that the sword changes direction, and you watch it slice open part of your back as he stumbles to the ground, and he just starts laughing again. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. You know why? I'm so relieved. I'm not to blame for any of it. Because if you hadn't...
If I hadn't brought him here, I know.
Yes.
I don't want to do this. I just wanted a brother. I just wanted a family who chose me.
What do you have now? you and you watch as the blow that caught him on the shoulder, the blood loss is starting to get to him. What do you have now, Hwith?
Nothing but my own guilt and a ruined city. And thousands of lives on my hands.
You're just like me.
I always was, Maeglin.
Did he infect your mind too?
He's always with me.
No, Hwith. Did he infect your mind?
But Hwith know that.
Make me an insight check.
Yeah, he would.
dawns on you that the flashback and the memory you have of touching that meteorite, that piece of iron that your father was going to craft, it jolted something within you. And your father saw it. And perhaps it's a memory that you would rather not remember, but there were moments when your father pushed you to your limits and asked you to do these otherworldly magical things, and you've always tried to get in touch with it, and it's only been within the last few months that you've really been able to tap into it. But the kind of magic that your father gave you through his bloodline, through anything of his, really, it might be his, it might be yours. How does Hwith react to the knowledge that perhaps there is more to this than he assumes?
Is this in the present?
No, this is in the past. This is in Gondolin.
At this point, he is grimly accepting his fate as an outcast. He's lost his family, he has lost his friends, he's lost his home, and he's lost his brother, the one person who made him feel like he wasn't alone.
As soon as that thought crosses your mind, you hear, still bleeding out on the ground, "They will never let you go back. What will you do?"
I have made my own fate, Megan, just as you made yours.
Suppose you're right. For what it's worth, I forgive you.
I love you, Megan, and I always will. I am not worthy of your forgiveness, and I never will.
Not yet. Perhaps one day. And you watch his eyes start to roll back into his head as he says, "See you on the other side with Mandos." And the light leaves his eyes.
He will start to bury him where he buried the sword in the cave.
You see the hilt of the sword sticking out of the ground. Meglin's injuries were such that the hole is still there and the hilt is visible.
He'll take out the sword and place Meglin in his place and start to work in grim silence. There are no tears for Hwith now. His face is one of stone. His emotions begin to dissipate and fade, and the sadness and the guilt, the loss, everything that has happened to him in the space of, well, the blink of an eye for an elf, that has affected his entire character, begins to settle down on him as the walls and the barriers of his mind begin to shut. He closes himself off to how he feels, the guilt. He is nothing. He will wander. He will be alone, and he has fully accepted that.
The memory of walking along the shore somewhere, couldn't even tell you where, as you gaze out into the ocean. Thousands of years ago, but after Gondolin. It's a very tall elf, about 7 foot. kind of disheveled clothes, small loot in his pack. Greetings, traveler. What are you doing here by the shores?
I am simply existing. What brings you here?
Just the same.
What be your name, traveler?
What be yours?
I am Hwith of Middle Earth.
No kingdom to speak of, then?
Not anymore.
Violence or treachery?
And he just... There's no answer.
May I share the fire?
Again, he just looks back. No answer.
Not much for conversation. Hwith, do you take the sword with you? And do you leave it buried with your brother?
He takes the sword with him. It's a reminder.
That sword you've got there. Interesting. Piece of craftsmanship.
The finest.
Whereabouts was it made?
Somewhere dark and deep.
May I? And he reaches out for it.
And he'll withdraw it back.
You can have my loot. And he pulls it out.
He'll
A kind of
accept.
collateral.
He'll make the trade. But very, very gingerly. He gives him the hilt. He does not let him touch the blade.
I trust you with that loot, as it is the most important object I own.
You have my word.
He examines it for a while, and you see him kind of look, oh, well, that's interesting. And after a while, he says, good blade, fine make. Hands it back to you.
He'll stick it in the sand. And he begins to sit down and puts the loot over his knee, and he just looks to get as a look of permission.
You play?
It's been known.
By all means.
And Hwith will play. He has no words and no emotions to speak of, but he will pour every aspect of his hurt into a song. He'll play for the sea. He'll play for the creatures on the sand. He'll play for the forest behind him. And he'll play for every lost soul of Gondolin. As there are no words to the song, but from the music, it's just his pain is allowing to escape and be expressed in a way without words.
Thranduil, as you stand over Hwith's shoulder on this beach, as the rest of you, having been brought in, finally, to Hwith's mind, hear him play, watch him, as the lute begins to sing. The music continues on and on into the night. And as both travelers by the fire settle down, you watch as Hwith's eyes close, the scene changes to morning, and the sword is gone, but the lute is still there. And there are footprints of this stranger having walked from the beach away onto the mainland. Hwith, you open your eyes within this beach, and you see everyone there.
Thank you all for staying with me. And he looks specifically to Janelle. And he says, I'm sorry. It was me. It was my fault. I did this, and I know that I did this. I hope you will find it in your heart to stay with me.
She just walks straight forward, like tears down her cheeks, and just embraces him. Says, you cannot live by your past regrets. Don't let them define you. It's not worth it. You were tricked. You were fooled. You have to have known that. And she just hugs him harder. Come back.
It doesn't excuse it. I was needed. And I have done what I can. And now I'm beginning to feel like I have something to give, something worth coming back to. And I thank you all for that.
She steps back and just holds his face and says, then come back. Come back to us. Please.
Yeah, he'll try and do so.
I think Thranvil will just, at Tanel's words from behind, just hold out a hand in offering. That whatever steps Hwith has to take from here, they will not be alone. This entire group is here, offering.
He'll take it. He'll full and grasp it, and he'll look to Biri as well, and just look down, and he'll say, "I heard you. I did hear you, brother."
Yuri loses all sense of control and just wraps him up in the middle. Just falls apart.
Yep.
And then he'll look to Tariel and just say, "You are just as pure and good as that diamond. You need not use it. You are enough."
So much I have seen just now, Hwith. I feel so small. I feel so new. And yet, I seem to know this one thing that you do not, which is that we are the family who chose you. Don't leave us just when you've gotten your heart's desire.
I do understand that now. You are here. And for that, I know that I've allowed myself to feel everything that you have offered me. And he's going to do everything in his power to come back to the present. But before he does, he'll look around and he says, "I hate this fucking beach."
Can Thranvil, under his breath, just murmur, "Me too"?
Yeah.
Because they were both refugees in the same place.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Would you like it better if you were racing a duck?
Oh. Yeah, probably. Most likely. Okay, he's going to do everything he can to kind of, with everything that they've given him, with the acceptance of it all, he's going to try desperately to summon all of his power and bring himself back.
Give me a lore check and tell me what you roll, because you will be rolling more after your initial roll check.
My God.
I feel like I'm gonna pass out.
I know.
I thought I was ready. I didn't know what we were getting into.
Yeah.
You told me to bring it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
God.
genuinely very happy right now.
Yeah,
As
I am
I
too.
cry.
I'm
I
not
am
mad at
too.
it.
But also,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be sick.
I beat my attacker number by 9.
9. Would you roll total?
20.
20 total. Target number is 11. Okay, that's 1 extra d6 from Tori, 1 d12 from the diamond, 3 for the song. Sorry, just doing a little bit of note taking. Hwith, in order to come back from this fully, to not leave a part of yourself, you need to roll pretty well for this. I would like you to roll me 6d6 with the understanding that if you do not at least get half, a part of you may be left in this dark part of you that may stay with you. It may go, but I need you to roll 6d6.
Can I use a hope point for it?
Yes, I will allow you to use your own hope points as well.
And what's half of what exactly?
66, the half of that total possible outcome is 18. 18 plus 18 is 36, which is the highest you can roll. You must roll higher than 18.
Come on, Hal.
This is from everyone
need you.
else.
What does that mean?
Oh no. Oh no.
What the hell does
It's
that
either really
mean?
good or really bad.
I rolled 13.
You rolled a 13.
I have 5 ones.
5.
Oh my
Ones.
gosh.
Oh. Oh.
Good Lord.
This damn beach.
Heavenly, this beach does suck.
Is this a
Do we
thing we
have
could use a fellowship?
points?
Wow, that's
Can we
a,
do
Uh,
a
Could we use
fellowship
a fellowship
point?
for
that's a
this?
major one.
I'll allow you to use. What'd you get? You got a 13?
Yeah, I got 13.
So
Like,
you
He'd
need
have
a
to get a
5
five.
or-
He'd have to
Can
get a
we-
5 or 6 on
like,
Need
it.
a
Can
5 or a
we-
6. I don't.
Can we
So
feel him falter and just as a unit reject that?
Please.
this is not necessarily to say that Hwith isn't coming back, but there is a part of him that may be lost in all of this. I will allow, for the purposes of this, because it is such an important moment, Zach, please roll me another d6 as a fellowship point.
Oh, it's gotta
I
be
can
6.
still be
Fine.
holding his
No, it's gotta be
face.
5.
Or a
It's gotta be
6.
5. Oh
I'm
my
going to be
god.
using the
We're all
the
holding
nice
him.
rhombus.
The unpredicted
Oh,
party
yeah.
dice from
I'm
Whitney.
holding.
Oh,
I'm
Whit-
holding
oh,
Hal.
Whitney.
Just
Come
so
on,
we're
glue
clear.
guns.
Channel the
Nice.
ghost of glue guns. Oh god.
Yep. Here we go.
It got caught. Let's do that again. So okay, this is twice now. It has landed right on the corner.
Okay.
Roll it again!
Yeah, no. It's a weird
Yeah.
angle. It's a weird
We
angle.
respect the
standing
cock here,
Right,
it's fine.
Right
Yeah.
up on the thing. So I'm trying to get. I've emptied out the other dice now, so it won't get caught anymore.
Please, please.
What is that?
What is
I can't
it?
see it. I
Is
can't
it-
see it.
We
It
can't
rolled,
see the
I think.
reflection.
It is.
Is it
Is
the
it-
claw?
What does that mean?
It's the
It's
claw.
a 6.
It's a 6.
Okay.
It means you keep your magic, Hwith.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, good lord.
I scared the dog. Okay, I'm sorry. It's a good thing.
I scared my cat too.
Yay!
All the pets are freaking out.
I'm sorry. It's a
Pupper,
good
it's all right,
thing.
buddy.
Wow. Thank you,
Oh.
Whitney.
Oh.
Thank
That's
you,
really-
Whitney.
I'm just gonna
Thanks, Whitney.
message her that. No
Oh.
context. Thank you.
Just
Whitney.
thank you.
Can you just
Yeah.
just
Thank you, crit award winning.
Yeah.
Crit
Yeah,
award
true.
winning
Seriously.
smoking glue guns? Can you just say like thank you for saving magic?
Yeah. Fucking, I'm gonna do it
Magical
right
life,
now.
baby.
She was really worried. We got it.
Oh, we got it.
It's okay. I'm sorry.
Halloweth,
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
your eyes pop open. And after the episode, Zach, I'm going to send you the same document I sent Brennan Lee Mulligan so that you have a better understanding of how the magic within Middle-earth works, so that you can utilize not just your lore checks, but your hope points as the trickery your father poured into your mind coalesces in a way to tap into magic similar to Luthien. The rest of you are going to watch as the beach scene fades, as you are brought mentally back here. For the rest of you, it was kind of like dissociating. For Halloweth, it felt like a lifetime. And you stray out of time and a little bit of afterthought. See what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
Elrond looks down at you and says, Master Halloweth, welcome back. And you all look around to notice that every window within the houses of healing has been blown open and are shuddering back and forth on the hinges as what was clearly a force of wind, of power, of something went unnoticed by all of you as Halloweth opens his eyes. You're back in the real world.
Thank you. And now I can finally be free. But and he kind of looks around at everyone, at the whole House of Healing, at the damage which has been done to Minas Tirith as well, I assume.
Oh, yeah.
We are not done.
I still have to beat you at our game.
Me first.
Nidib din tagor, Franklin
Mm.
says.
Hmm?
So we will defeat them.
Thranduil, as you say this, you feel the words, once they're out, kind of get caught in your throat, and you you start to cough and clear it a little bit. And the rest of you sort of start to feel a bit of a weight, almost. And Halloweth, you would feel within Osanwe something very similar to your own mindset, weighing heaviest, or most heavily, on Thranduil, as mentally your friends have picked up the weight, as it were, to help you bear this burden of your past.
Share the load.
Thank you, Chris.
I wouldn't
horrible.
have wished this on anyone, but
When Thranduil coughs, does black ichor come out of his
No,
mouth or
no,
something?
no, no, no,
Okay.
no.
Clarifying.
Yep. The black ichor has been removed. It was
Oh, thank
Halloweth
goodness.
that didn't
Yeah.
want anything to do with you all while he was stuck in there.
Well, is there any way to get like kind of help, or is this kind of a forever thing?
Make an insight check. Make an
Yeah.
insight
Okay.
check for me.
Yeah, because I don't know how much Beery actually understands what is taking place. You know what I mean? This is some
Probably
pretty
not much.
alien
Probably
stuff.
Poor
not
No.
much,
sweet
yeah.
Beery.
Oh yeah, he beats his target number with a 6 and a bunch of other stuff.
We joke about it a lot here, but it is quite literally the theme that Tolkien created the Fellowship of the Ring from. It is by our bonds that we are strengthened. And whatever your father did to you, whatever mind games he played, whatever warped things he did, it's not just you that knows about it now. And it weighs on everyone. And Thranduil, I think you would begin to feel that weight set in most heavily on you, being not the oldest, but certainly the one that has lost the most, given your kingdom out of the remaining 4. Which is
Has
not
the
to
most experience with the
Yes.
darkness. Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to actually ask you to go ahead and make me an awareness check with ill favor.
Ill favor.
Ill favor.
Okay. That's a 23 with ill favor.
23.
Ooh.
With a
I got an
20.
8 and 9 on that.
Wow.
The force is
well
strong with this
done.
one.
No kidding. Thranduil,
We
you
aware.
Yeah. You clock instantly what has happened. There was dark magic within Hwith that his father forced upon him in some way, shape, or form. You're not sure how, and I think right now prying would not necessarily be the best option. But you, being wise in the ways of magic, know how to not necessarily alleviate, but divvy that up. And in the rolls that you have made, in the Gandalf that you rolled, and the succeeding that you did, you begin to feel some of that weight on you as well. And you feel the need to sit down as this sudden surge comes across you. And you feel weaker, which is not a sensation you are used to feeling outwardly in front of other people.
I think you'll see Thranduil stumble back a little bit and just take a seat. And just has like the
This is very
1,000-yard
alarming to
stare.
Chadiel.
But through that 1,000-yard stare, you just see the tiniest little smile because he wouldn't have it any other way.
As you
Hwith
continue.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, please, by all means.
Hwith kind of kneels before him, and he'll say that I obviously know exactly what this feels like. It will never leave, but you can build yourself around it. It is like a grief.
What do you think I've been doing the last 2 millennia?
We will all be stronger because of your efforts. I cannot thank you enough. And he'll just like put his forehead to his hand.
I think he'll lift him up and just press their foreheads together and just simply whisper, up, which means later.
We are going to end tonight setting the scene for next week as Yorith, the human woman from the Houses of Healing, walks in after what's really only been about 5 minutes for you all, trying to extract this piece of something within Hwith, whether it's Morgul blade or iron. And she's going to look at you and say, is everything all right in here?
No! Just wiping tears, yelled at her.
Never better, Yorith.
Excellent. Lady Tennell, your parents are here. Master
Oh,
Beery, someone is here
God.
to see you, and Lady Tariel. Lord Stuart Faramir has requested your presence in the Citadel.
Oh.
And then Yorith is going to look at you, Thranduil, and say, or actually rather down at you if you're still sitting.
Sitting.
Sitting, yeah. You, I do not know, my lord.
And he pushes to start standing up because he feels like this is not something you just tell someone seated. And he just says, my name is Thranduil,
The
High King of the United Elves of Middle-earth. If they will have me. And he looks over at Elrond.
Elrond nods, and that is where we are going to end
Okay.
tonight's episode
Okay,
of the
High King.
Unpredicted Party.
Okay.
I took a chance there. I took a
Okay.
chance.
Yeah, you did.
Wow.
Yeah,
shot
you
your
did.
shot
I
and it paid
respect
off.
it. Chris, Thank
Yeah.
you for joining us for this 2-part extravaganza. Zach, I think it goes without saying, Hwith has had his moment. The backstory has been explained just a little
At
bit
last.
more.
Well
Stop.
done.
Finally.
Chat, stop fucking asking me.
It's true. You're not wrong.
Stay tuned for the 6-part miniseries prequel featuring Zach, and of course, any number of people will have 6 months from now.
The fulfillment of probably at least 60%
Sign me
of
up, I'm
Scone
just saying.
Mistresses, prognostications.
I'm sure there's
and-
going to be something here, there, or
Oh,
otherwise.
yes, of
but
course.
Yeah.
Ugh.
it does do well to say, as the lore master, you guys almost made me cry today, so good job.
Yay!
Yay.
Well done.
Hooray.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. A couple of announcements before we wrap up. I am Don Marshall, the obscure Lord of the Rings facts guy. These are my players: Max Randolph, Charlotte Moore Lambert, Tori Fox, and Zach Smith, joined by special guest Wizard Way Chris, playing Thranduil once again. Chris, where can the people find you if you are new here, or if they are new here?
If you're new here, hello, my name is Chris. I am TikTok's resident elf boy. I translate stuff into Elvish for a living. It's not a great living, but it's what I do. I am starting an Elvish letter subscription service. If you would like to receive Elvish letters that you can decode every month, check out my Patreon. There is a tier for that. And I can't wait to send you letters. Written basically by other Tolkien characters, some of which might be familiar from the show.
Oh.
I already wrote the first
Oh.
two.
Oh. I may need to join that tier of Patreon. Patreon.com/WizardWayChris.
Wizardway Chris.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris. We will be
Thank you so
live
much for
over-
having me.
Of course. We will be live for the Unpredicted after party, where we will discuss everything. And I just want to say, just point blank, as we sort of come to the end here, Chris, this very well may be the final time Thranduil makes an appearance. We will still need to work on scheduling. Obviously, we would love to have you back, but we need to see
This
if it
cannot be the last time we see Thranduil. I have unfinished business.
Okay.
We do. I was gonna say, at the very least, there's
One
more to be
last
said
relentless
between
All right,
Thrandy
all
and
right.
Tauriel.
It's
Maybe
gonna
they're
be
coming
fine,
home.
but like
Let's see if we can thread
At
this
least-
needle.
knowing nods need to be exchanged. Like,
Yes.
All right.
I
In
will
typical- in
happily
typical
come
Tolkien-
one more time, yeah.
In
Yeah.
typical Tolkien fashion, there's going to be a 9-episode epilogue where it's just-
Epilogues.
and all
Hey,
the
maybe that's it.
listen.
Maybe we'll
appendices.
just do it as an appendix.
There you go.
You know what? Maybe
That's
how we
actually
do
a
it.
good
That's
idea.
not a terrible idea.
That's not a bad idea.
you
There's a
one
lot
shot-
of history
one-shot
between these two.
appendices.
We could do a lot of one-shot appendices, Adventures of Beery and Kiri, Sengaya, and whatever they do. Let's write season 2 first. Anyway, thank you all for joining us. We will be on Patreon, patreon.com/DonMarshall72 for the Unpredicted After Party, where we get to talk about all of the cool stuff that happened. We will be back 2 weeks from now, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/DonMarshall72. You can also go to patreon.com/DonMarshall72 immediately after this, where it will be available. We also have a
Gotta get
Discord.
a different username, man.
Well, I created a new YouTube channel that is going to be my actual Don Marshall 72, and then this one will eventually become the Unpredicted Party. However, because for now I can't take Don Marshall 72, it's Don Marshall 70 Tube, all spelled out.
Yeah.
And I'm quite proud of that.
T-U-B-E.
T-U-B-E.
Tube.
Don Marshall
That's very
72.
good.
Subscribe to
very
my
good.
other YouTube channel so that I can get monetized and post all of my shorts and get paid
Yeah,
for
all
that.
of that.
All right.
Nobody
I've
wants to see
talked
your
about-
shorts, Don. Keep your shorts on.
Keep your shorts on.
Joke's on you. I'm not wearing anything. All right. Thank you all so much for joining. We will be back in 2 weeks. If you want to listen to the audio version, it comes out on Monday at 7 a.m. After this, the Monday after this episode. I've stopped saying words, but we're so far out. Doesn't matter. Chris, I'm stuck with you forever, I think.
Oh,
we'll
no.
see you next time as we wrap up Thranduil's arc. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Mwah.